Okay, I can finally tell you guys, and I'm so just beyond thrilled. You guys, I am pregnant. I'm pregnant with baby number 4, and I've just been wanting to tell you guys for so long. This has been so hard. I have so much to tell you because this has been like the most insane pregnancy. Like how I found out, it was just a wild time, you guys. So that's what this is gonna be, just a long, chatty update, catching you guys up on what has been going on, because this has been a super difficult secret to keep. And I'm just so glad that I don't have to keep it anymore. That I can just tell you how like just overjoyed both Joe and I and the family is that there's a baby. I'm gonna answer as many questions as I can, you guys. Was this planned? Like NFP, like what happened, like all the things. And if you have more questions, feel free to ask me. But we're just so excited. We're so excited. I'm a little nervous, not gonna lie. Kind of like, okay, things are gonna get insane because you guys have seen how just crazy Sean has been lately, and it's been rough. So, you know, this is what the Lord had in store for us. I really, truly believe that. Like, we surrendered this to him, and I am now pregnant. So let's get into some story time, but definitely please keep us in your prayers. Keep baby and me in your prayers. I'm really just praying for a good, you know, pregnancy experience, and, you know, that baby is healthy, and all of, you know, the good things for like labor and delivery, all the things. So if you guys could pray for us, I would really super appreciate it. Okay, so we've got to backtrack a bit, because I think the last time that I even discussed the possibility of baby number 4 and all of these things was in my postpartum update, right? I did a postpartum update, a 1-year postpartum update. At the time that I filmed that video, you guys, I did not know that I was pregnant. I filmed that video, and I don't know how many of you guys watched it, but I filmed that video maybe like on a Tuesday. And on the Friday is when I found out that I was pregnant. So I was actually pregnant while filming that video, but I didn't know it. It was a secret even to me. So in that video, I was actually like trashing somebody who had been commenting on my stuff, on my DMs, saying, oh, it looks like you're, you know, cooking baby number 4. And I was like all pissed off, and I was all like, this lady's calling me fat, whatever. So to that lady, I do apologize. I apologize, because you were right. I was actually pregnant. So here's the deal. Like I said in that video, I had been feeling for a good like 2 to 3 weeks, I had been feeling just like off, and I don't know how else to explain it other than I felt like there was something wrong, because I had a lot of bloating. I felt just like, I don't know if it was cramping, but just like my overall like abdominal area was off. I was kind of like in pain, like when I would like kind of touch my abdomen in certain areas, I was in pain. So I remember going to co-op. I took the kids to co-op on Friday, and I was telling my friends, like, I don't know, I just feel off. I feel like there's something wrong. So they were all in agreement. They're like, when we finish co-op, you need to go to like the emergency room, go to urgent care, get checked out, please, like do not die, like that sort of thing. So I finished co-op. I took the kids back to my house where my mom was staying with Sean. I'm like, you need to watch the kids a little longer. I need to go get checked, because there's something wrong with me. Like, I don't know if I'm having like some kind of like, you know, my brain went to like, I'm having a pancreatic attack, or I don't know, there's something wrong with my like body parts. Like, I don't know like a lot of anatomy, but I knew that there was something wrong. Like, I could just feel my body, and I knew that there was just something going on. So I went to the urgent care. I was by myself. I go to urgent care. I tell them all my symptoms, whatever. They're like, listen, it sounds to me like you're gonna need some kind of like a CT or like an ultrasound. You're gonna have to get something done, and we don't have those machines here at this property, at this, you know, facility. So they told me that there was a freestanding emergency room not too far from there, so they recommended that I go there. So I did that. I got back in my car. I drove to the emergency room. It wasn't like attached to a hospital, again, freestanding emergency room. And I walked in. Again, I'm by myself. I tell them all of my symptoms. They admit me, right? Like, I'm in a bed, and they've got me hooked up to a bunch of stuff. Tell them my symptoms. And then they were like, okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna run some blood work, because they're like, is there a chance that you could be pregnant? And I said, well, I mean, there's a chance, like I'm having sex, but I don't think so. And again, even in my postpartum update, I said, I don't think I'm pregnant, because of the fact that I was still nursing. Now, I know that you can still get pregnant when you're nursing, but I had been nursing Sean for like a year, and I still hadn't gotten my cycle back. I got my first cycle back, I think at like 12 months postpartum, maybe 13 months postpartum. I got one period, and then the next month I didn't get my period, but I thought that it was still like my cycle kind of getting back to normal. Kind of thought like I would have to wait a few months before like my body would return to its, regular, every 28 days or so of like getting my period. So that's why like I knew there was a chance I could be pregnant, but I really didn't expect to be pregnant. So they're like, let's do the blood work and just kind of see what it says. So I'm sitting there in the room, they drew my blood, I'm waiting for the results. The doctor, PA, whatever he was, he comes back in and he's like, okay, so good news, you're not dying, like everything looks fine, but you're pregnant. And so I was like what? Like I was very much in shock. It took me a bit, like it was just a very weird experience. Like I was by myself. I had never found out that I was pregnant through a blood test. Like it ended up being a very expensive pregnancy test because I could have just, peed on a stick and been told that I was pregnant. Instead I had to go to the emergency room and get charged like $250 for that visit. But anyway, it was just kind of surreal. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm pregnant. And I still didn't really it's kind of weird. Like I didn't allow myself to believe that I was pregnant because I felt like, again, there was something wrong. So even though I heard you're pregnant, my brain at first was like, okay, but it could probably be like an ectopic pregnancy. Like, I don't know why I catastrophized, but like, I thought that maybe I'm pregnant, but like, it's like, there's something wrong here. I wasn't like allowing myself to believe that, it was like a healthy, normal pregnancy. So once they had told me that I was pregnant, it's funny because the doctor even himself was like, we're gonna do an ultrasound because there's a chance that the blood test could be wrong, in the sense that sometimes when a patient is nursing, like something about the hormone levels or whatever, like it can show like kind of like a false pregnancy. That's what he literally told me. So I was like, okay, well that makes sense. Like let's do the ultrasound because it could be just something, kind of off with the blood work. So they send me to the ultrasound room. And there's like two ladies in there. They set up to do the ultrasound. It had to be like a vaginal ultrasound because it was still like so very early. And as soon as they got it going, they're like, oh yeah, you're pregnant. They were able to see, I guess, like the yolk sac or whatever it is that they're supposed to see that early. They couldn't see like the baby yet, but I guess like the things that they would see in like early pregnancy they saw. So they were like, congratulations, you're pregnant. And I kept asking them like, okay, but like, is it an ectopic pregnancy? Like, is it okay? And they were like, no, it's where it needs to be. It's good. And just kind of reassuring me that everything was fine. And then at that appointment, they were even able to record, like you can't quite hear it yet, but they were able to record that there was a heartbeat. So that again, just was like more validation, like, holy crap, like I am pregnant. And it was just wild. So with that ultrasound, they told me that I was somewhere between like 6.5 weeks to like 7 weeks pregnant. So again, like I didn't find out like a day or two after my missed period. Like I found out a bit later. That was definitely the latest that I found out that I'm pregnant with any of my other kids. And then it was just so cute because the lady at the ultrasound was like, I guess I had said something about like, I'm a mom. So she figured, I have a kid, I guess, at home. So she's like, are you so excited to have baby number 2? And I was just like, lady, this is number 4. So then I told her that and she was like, oh, okay, wow. But yeah, it was just so funny. And I was just still like in a state of shock. Like I was just there by myself in a emergency room. Like it was like, that's not how I expected my Friday to go, like at all. That was not what my day, like what I thought it was gonna look like. So anyway, they take me back to the room. They end up like discharging me. They're like, okay, follow up with your OB. Like there's nothing else we can do here. Like you are pregnant. So then yeah, I went home. I remember like driving back home and like my first thought being like, oh, I'm gonna need like a new car because there's no space for any more car seats in the car that I have. Like I guess like the reality started to like sink in. And I mean, I was happy, obviously. Like I was thrilled. Like the idea of having baby number 4 had been always something that I had been praying about. And really, truly, like Joe and I had discerned that we were open to having another baby, hence why we weren't like super like stressed trying to abstain. Like we were very much open to baby number 4. I just wasn't expecting it to be like right this second. So God said, okay, let's do this now. Yeah, I went home and I didn't want to tell the kids just yet because it was still so early. But as soon as I walked through the door, like Joe saw me, like he was standing in the kitchen and he's like, like, you're not pregnant, right? And I was like, yeah, I am. And like, we're trying to like not have the kids like look at us or pay attention. And he was so happy, and I'll show you later, or at some point I'll show you like the text that he had sent me. But yeah, that was like the story of how I found out that I was pregnant. Very just different than any of my other experiences. So that was, again, like, I ended up having been like 7 weeks pregnant at that ultrasound. And then I went to see, like, as soon as I found out, I had to call like my actual OB and like tell her like, hey, I'm pregnant again. And then they had me in. I've been to a couple appointments now. So right now my due date is June. And right now I'm filming this and I'm like 11 and a half weeks pregnant. I think by the time that this goes up, it'll be like just about 12 weeks. So I'm pretty much like in the end of my first trimester. And this trimester, the last few weeks have been rough, you guys. It's been like very difficult. I think that this week I've been a bit better. Imagine, like, I went camping and everything and I was pregnant. Like, it's just been a very wild time. Taking care of Sean at 16 months old almost has also just, again, been very difficult, very just physically exhausting. And like, I think weeks 9 through 11 were the worst. Like 9 till like almost like up until this week, it was really bad. I was having a lot of like on and off nausea. So I've been like very nauseous, not throwing up because I'm not a thrower upper. Like, I don't throw up unless I'm being literally food poisoned. So I've had a bit of like just that nausea and like I don't want to eat anything, but then I'm hungry and then the hunger makes me nauseous. Like a lot of that very normal stuff. I had headaches for a bit, but other than that, and then just like the pure exhaustion, other than that, I've been feeling pretty good. So yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I can catch you guys up to speed on. I went to the doctor last week and we did a blood draw for like the genetic testing. And thank the Lord, you know, everything turned out fine. Everything, like, my results came back normal. We've always done that with all of the kids. Not that it would impact our decision in any way. It's just like to kind of have information in case anything was a little bit different or whatever. So everything looked normal, which was good. And then this week I have an appointment. I have an appointment on Friday, I think, when I'll be 12 weeks. And then at that appointment, I think they're gonna try to listen to the heartbeat like over my belly. It's just so annoying because I haven't had a scan, like I haven't had an ultrasound since that day in their emergency room. So it's like, I want, you know, I want to see the baby. I want to see baby. I mean, I know baby's in there, but it would just be such peace of mind to see baby. And then my doctor was telling me the other day, like, oh, you might not have a scan until your anatomy scan at 20 weeks. And I'm like, no, like, I want to see baby before then or I'm going to be a crazy person until then. Yeah, we'll see what they tell me on Friday. But yeah, we are excited. Let me see if I can show you that text because I know that a lot of people are going to just be curious like how Joe took that news. Again, just like the story of how Joe went from having such strong opinions on like being done with kids after Jackson, like after 2 kids he was done. Then the fact that Sean Michael was born, like that was like such a beautiful, I don't know, just like a piece of our story and something that I'm so glad I've been able to share with you guys. But to see Joe just like so happy that I'm pregnant now with another one, like maybe like I thought, you know, he'd get on board with like number 3, but to see him even like on board with like number 4 was just to like see, like it was very visible that God had changed his heart, you know, and just to see that contrast, I guess, was just like a really moving, beautiful thing. So this was, I think it was like the day after that I told him that we found out. He sent me this little like meme thing, this little Bible verse from Psalms 127 verse 4 through 5. And it said, like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the sons of one's youth. Happy is the man who has his quiver full of them. He will not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies in the gate. So just like, you know, that image of the more arrows you have, like, you know, babies are like arrows and like it's a good thing. And to see him embrace that, I'm gonna get like all emotional because like it's obviously a big thing to me. But that was like really just a beautiful thing to see that was like his outlook and his attitude. So he's very excited. He went ahead and he told like all his friends, like we've told pretty much everyone, like all of my close girlfriends all know. Our community has been super supportive and just very excited for us. So I'm just thrilled to share the news with you guys. And now I can just, you know, vlog like normal and not have to hide anything and just share this pregnancy with you guys. But we're doing good. We are happy. So again, just continued prayers would be super appreciative. Do you guys want to see the bump? I mean, because the bump is bumping, dude. Like after, like this is like my 4th baby. So I know that I'm going to get very large because with Sean, I was very large. But with this baby, again, I'm almost 12 weeks. I'm not even fully 12 weeks. Now, granted, it's 9:30 at night. So also like the bump gets bigger at night and I'm on the floor. So I'm just going to like be on my knees here. But that is the baby bump, you guys. And baby is bumping. Oh, we are going to find out the gender because with Sean, remember, Sean was a surprise. Sean was a surprise gender. We waited till birth to find out. With this baby, we're gonna know ahead of time. I'm not sure when I'm gonna share it or, you know, if I'm gonna, I imagine I will share it. Just, I'm probably gonna process this for a bit with Joe on our own, but I find out on Thursday. My appointment's actually on Thursday, not Friday. I find out on Thursday. When I did that blood draw, it was also like one of the things that it tells you is it a boy, is it a girl? So when they called me the other day to tell me the results, they're like, do you want to know what it is? And I said, just put it in an envelope and I will pick it up on Thursday because I want Joe and I to find out together. So I'm excited that potentially here in a few days, I will know if this is a boy or a girl. I just said that this time around, I needed some heads up so that I can plan better. So that way I'm not waiting till, you know, birth to figure out, do I need girl clothes? Do I need boy clothes? Like I need to figure out that, but that's like minor stuff. But I need to have like time to process like room setup, room situation. What are we gonna do? And I think that maybe knowing if it's a boy or a girl will help with some of that. But yeah, super excited. I feel just so blessed. And again, if I didn't make it clear, like Joe and I, we had like once Sean was, first of all, I hadn't gotten my period because whatever, I was still nursing Sean. Yes, there was a chance I could get pregnant, but I also knew that based on my postpartum experience with the other kids, like I don't normally get my cycle back until the kids start sleeping through the night. When I drop the night feeds is usually like consistently with the other kids when I get my cycle back. So since Sean didn't sleep for a freaking year, okay, I still hadn't gotten my period back. So there was a long time in the postpartum period where I wasn't even concerned at all, you know, really about getting pregnant. Once I got that first period back, and maybe like a little bit before then, that's when Joe and I kind of started having the conversation of like, what are we gonna do here? There's a chance that I could get pregnant. Are we open to that? Like, let's discern this. Let's think about this. Like, are there any reasons why we wouldn't or shouldn't? Or, you know, like, are there any reasons for abstaining and not being open to life? And we had discerned that there really weren't any reasons. So since Joe and I are Catholic and we practice NFP, like if we're not abstaining and using NFP methods to abstain, then we were just open. We were open to whatever. If it happened, it happened, but I wasn't tracking anything. There was no method that I was using. Like I wasn't tracking my cycle. I wasn't charting. It was just like literally like if it happens, and it sure happens. So again, that's kind of what I mean by like we surrendered this to the Lord. We had been praying. I spent a lot of time just, you know, asking the Lord to, you know, his will be done. And if that's what he wants from us, then, you know, so be it. And it's just really beautiful to be here now and to like, it's just such a gift. It's a gift from the Lord and I feel very blessed. So there you go, you guys. I think that's it because, I mean, how long do I have to talk for? If there's anything else you guys want to know or questions you have, any specific, you know, content requests you have, you know, pregnancy related, anything you want to see, let me know. But thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of this journey. And I'm so excited to see what happens and to share it all with you guys. So I love your faces. Thank you so much for just your love and your support and your prayers. And I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye guys.